It was good, dog. The first 2 volumes of my new podcast on my second channel are out right now, so go click in the link in the description in the top comment to go watch those. The first volume is very, very boring because it's just me and my boy Tommy, but the second volume, however, we got like a total of 7 and 8 people in there, and it's very engaging, very interesting. You need to watch it right now, and I think it's very related to the topic of today's video on the main channel. Now, if you look really closely, you can see that I'm wearing my custom FaZe jersey with my name on the back of it in 06, which is the year I was born. And so then the next day, which is today, I put that jersey back on, and I started thinking a lot about how big of a company FaZe has become. You see, back when I was 12 or 13 years old, I used to watch a lot of FaZe videos, and back when I first started playing Fortnite, I started watching Tfue, and I thought he was a really good epic gamer, and so I kept watching him. I learned how to get good at the game, and there you go. And that was when he was still in FaZe, and he left FaZe in like the following season in the spring, and so it kind of gave FaZe a bad rap. But then after that, you know, FaZe kind of redeemed themselves. They seemed to be a good company once more. But then I realized that FaZe isn't the only gaming org in the world. There are other orgs like TSM, 100 Thieves, Liquid, Cooler, NRG, which I really got into NRG during the pandemic and stuff, and so that was the org that started to make me get really good at the game because I watched Clicks, Stable Ronaldo, and yeah, that was about it. But back in February of 2020, I was just casually streaming Fortnite, and then I had someone come in my chat randomly and advertise this gaming org that they created. I'm not going to say who this person was that advertised it, but it was the owner, and the org was called the Otaku Empire. And no, this is not Otaku Gaming, this is the Otaku Empire, so it's different. Now, he explained that it was pretty much anime themed, and we got League of Legends, Overwatch, and Fortnite teams. So he asked if he can DM me and then send me a link to the server if I'm interested. So we did. We DM'd each other, and I asked him to say Venus if he was real. And then he did, so he was real. I asked him all sorts of questions about the org, and eventually I agreed to join it, and so little did I know, there were not very many Fortnite kids in that server, and so I very easily became the most important Fortnite dude in there. I had the top role. I was specifically the media manager, whatever, and him and the co-owner explained that they were going to have their official Otaku Empire launch in July. So that gave them 5 months to prepare, get more people in there, and perfect the server, perfect the org as a whole. So they set me up with a task: ask more people to join the org, advertise the social media, and hype up the org as much as possible. Now, I was 13 at this time, and they had plans on giving people paychecks, and I asked my mom if she could set me up with like a bank account, give me my own credit card, but since it was during the pandemic, all the banks were closed, and so we couldn't really do anything about it. And then eventually, when the banks opened up, I was like barely 14, and I'm like, can I have a bank account now? Come on, bruh. And then my mom was like, no, I don't trust you. I don't trust you to spend your own money on the internet, my boy. You can't have your own bank account until you have an actual job and pay taxes like the rest of us. And I still don't have a bank account now, despite me being 16 and old enough to get a real job. I don't want a real job. I want to wait until I graduate. But anyway, I advertised the server to this one streamer named Umbra, and he agreed to join. But the thing is, I joined his stream while he was streaming Fortnite, of course, and he had like 1 viewer at that moment. But then very quickly, it jumped to 5 viewers, and then it jumped to 10 viewers, and I'm like, bruh. Since he agreed to join, it was all good. And what I was so scared of, by the way, was the fact that I was about to ask a big streamer to join a stupid org that he never heard of before, and that he doesn't even care about, but it was all good. He was so nice about it, and he joined without hesitation. But there you go, the org was coming together nicely, and I thought it was going to be a big thing. So on July 10th of 2020, as the org is officially being launched, I made this video right here of me talking about my excitement for the org and what it's all about, how I joined, what I'm doing in the server. And it was a real mess of a video because I made that thing in probably like a few hours. But let me tell you right now, this video aged so poorly because this is what I have to say. I expect great things to come out of this, okay? We're gonna make it to somewhat big leagues, okay? Nothing like TSM or FaZe, but maybe something like Ghost or Cooler or Liquid, something like that. Who hecking knows? Now, let me explain why this video aged so poorly. Let's get serious real quick. The managers were doing a great job trying to set up everything, and they really did a good job of reaching out to their employees. But that only lasted a short amount of time. After the org officially launched in July, they felt as if they had enough people in the server to manage everything without an actual manager. They expected me and everyone else in the server to just keep everything moving without them. But there are several issues with that kind of mindset. First issue, we're not being paid yet, even though they said we were, but it never actually happened, spoilers. Second issue, the Otaku Empire is a tiny, miniature org that nobody knows about, and so how can you trust other tiny content creators to grow your platform that you own? Like, it's your job to grow it because clearly you're the only one that knows what they're doing. And third issue, there was no ambition with any of us to get this thing growing. We had our own ambition for our own content, not for the org that we're not getting paid to be in. They even had me in their little announcement video on their official channel, and look how young I look. I'm like a little baby. Look at me. It's so weird to look at this. So then with all these aspects coming together, people started leaving the server. But I stayed in it until like 2022 when they finally kicked me from it. Was it worth staying in that server all that time? No. But what I've learned from there is that these owners are probably some of the laziest org people I've ever seen. And I've seen some really small Fortnite orgs owned by literal 12-year-olds, and even they stream now and again. And even they get a consistent viewership and at least a few people in their Fortnite org to actually care about the project that they're building together. Now, granted, those orgs don't really last that long, but in contrast to the kind of work effort that these people had in this Otaku Empire thing, there was really something with these 12-year-olds. Like, I'm not even going to cap with you, mate. Now, I've been wanting to talk about this whole Otaku Empire situation for a very long time, even back when I was still uploading on DAO Comics, my old channel. But I think it's finally time to talk about all the issues I had with it in the past, because I think it's very relevant to today's video that we're going to be discussing today. What happened to gaming orgs as a whole? So we're going to transition from the topic of small orgs like the Otaku Empire to now the big orgs like FaZe, Optic, TSM, 100 Thieves, NRG. So first, let's talk about FaZe. FaZe is one of, if not the most important organization in terms of gaming in history. FaZe is a big reason why gamers are not seen as basement-dwelling trolls that waste their lives 24/7 and don't have a job. FaZe has shown the world that gaming is not just a waste of time, and you can actually make money off of it because there is a big audience for esports events. And so as time goes on, there are countless examples of people making it big just by being a virgin. So how did these orgs meet their downfall? Why are gaming orgs so not profitable nowadays? I don't know if this is a big reason, but it's probably a reason. Gaming orgs are very saturated, and it's really hard to stand out anymore. I think FaZe has done the best job at trying to stand out with their IRL content, and content regarding special guests or celebrities and all that. Like a couple years ago, FaZe Clan became a public company, and so now they have like stock and stuff, but now that stock is depleting because they're just irrelevant. And they even collabed with McDonald's. I think another reason why all these orgs fell off is because back then when orgs were cool, people genuinely thought they were cool and maybe even wanted to join them at some point in their life. Now I remember when I was 12 and 13 when I was grinding Fortnite and getting really good at it. It was my dream to join a big org someday. Probably not FaZe because that was a bit of a stretch, but just some big org someday, because I know that all of these pros nowadays are going to quit the game very soon. So then with them gone, the competition will be very different in the future. So if I kept on playing for the rest of my life, then I could be so good that I could be in like the top 100 best players or something. And then I could be recruited into NRG and meet Clicks and Stable Ronaldo, and then I would be rich and I could get my dream Epic Gamer setup and play all the Fortnite I want. But yeah, I think nowadays it's just a lot less cool to be in an org because there's so many orgs that are just always popping up out of nowhere. All the coolness of being in an org just kind of depletes. I used to be a competitive nerd with all the games I played, in which I still get really good at games nowadays, but like just not as much as I did, and also I play way too many games to be really good at just one. Like Fortnite has really taught me a lot of stuff. Like I go more in depth with my history in video games on the podcast episode on my second channel, but pretty much Fortnite has taught me how to be competitive, and then I started playing Warzone and Cold War, and I learned how to be competitive in first-person shooter games, but overall it improved my aim, and now I'm just a walking robot that just has like aimbot installed onto my system, you know? But nowadays I just play games casually, and if I play a game then it's because I'm having fun. I don't like playing games if I am not having fun anymore, so there you go. I think it's very interesting that we're all in a timeline where gaming orgs are starting to fail. I never thought I would ever see this day, at least anytime soon. I think we're going to move forward from here and look back at this time period as the era of succeeding and making money while playing games. Because how many people are now playing games because they want to get good at it and make money off of it? No, people are playing games because they want to stream it or make content around it and maybe get partnered on whatever platform and start making money from ad revenue. Two completely different people. I did exactly zero research into making this video, so if there's like other video essays that people have done, then they're probably 10 times more credible than me, but all forms of engagement on this video would be appreciated. If you would like to explain your perspective on this whole gaming org situation, then please comment down below, DM me on Instagram, Twitter, and join the Discord server and we can talk in the chat hub. But I also stream sometimes, so you can join the Twitch chat and talk in there if I'm streaming sometimes. But yeah, since it's Easter, I wanted to take it easy this weekend and just, make a simple video. Next week, I'll try and see if I can upload something relatively more interesting. Well, I guess that's about it then. Follow all the social media. Bye-bye.